This morning, listening to our newscast here on CJD and heard about this incredible story, a $50 million gift being given to Polytechnique. By who? By a former student at Polytechnique. Pierre Lassonde is a Quebec entrepreneur, chair of the board for École Polytechnique here in Montreal. And this gift is bestowed by him and his foundation. He is on the line. Monsieur Lassonde, thanks for your time this afternoon.
Well, thank you for having me. Always a pleasure.
Let me begin by asking, you just don't wake, I'm going to take a wild guess. You don't wake up one morning and decide, you know what, I'm going to just write a check for $50 million. So how long was this in the making? How long had you been thinking about it? And what finally got you to this point?
Well, you guess right. No, it was about, I would say, 50 years in the making.
Wow.
No, in a sense that, my affiliation with Polytechnique started in September 1967 when I walked in the gate. And then that year, there was, in those days, there was a carnival on the campus of the University of Montreal, and every faculty had a duchess. And then you had like the queen of the carnival. Well, the duchess for Polytechnique was this young student, and who I fell in love with, married, and we married actually when we were in the fourth year of engineering.
Wow.
And then she became the head of the Ontario Professional of Engineers. She ended up also helping out during the '89 massacre. And when they approached us in 2000 to enlarge the Polytechnique, we put our hands in our pocket. We helped them to do the two new iconic pavilions, now known as Pierre Lassonde and Claudette Mackay-Lassonde. And then they approached me to become the chair of the board of Polytechnique 5 years ago. And in doing that, I roamed the labs and talked to the professors and saw an incredible need for financing the doctorate and postdoc students, from all over the world to come. And because we've got some of the best researchers and, great labs. So I saw that we could change the world if I could do something like really special. And that was the culmination. That gift is the culmination of all of the above.
Okay, so that's a nice way of kind of giving us an idea where this all came from. And it's a wonderful story to think back. I mean, I don't think anyone would enjoy more than having gone to a school, university in this case, and crediting them for your success and then being able to give back. We all want to be able to give back. Most of us cannot afford to be writing $50 million checks. I'm wondering where this goes, though. And I'm trying to understand, what is deep tech and how will this change things? And where does this put us on the map?
Well, if you ever understand it, call me. That would help me too. It is not an easy concept to understand, but the best way I guess I could describe it is that when you go to the airport, you go through scanners, for example, that detects whether you got metals or not. Well, these scanners, they could be detecting cancer. And so that would be like a revolution in the ability of scanners to do this. And that's the kind of technology that we're working on at the Polytechnique. One of our graduate students, for example, is working on a technology to see through fogs. So for the Defense Department, for the automobile industry, this would be an incredible achievement. You just put like this little gadget in your car and you can see like 5 miles ahead what's going on the road, just like if you had clear vision. These are the kind of, deep tech. One of our students is working on instead of a lithium like transistor, he's working with germanium, which is a far more powerful critical metal, and is probably the way of the future for artificial intelligence. So these are all disruptive technology that will touch the lives of not just like thousands of people, but millions, if not billions of people.
Where does this, my end of my last question was where this puts us in terms of, we know the work that's being done at Polytechnique, this sort of research now, what you're describing, where does this put us on a global scale?
In some of these very narrow technology, Polytechnique would be at the forefront of in the world, like, number one. Like this is germanium technology for some of the applications I'm talking about. We're the only one in the world that do this. And then our prof are sending the chips to various universities and saying, like, what can you do with this? And can we help you out? Can we help you develop like new technology for biomedical? Can we help you for the defense industry? And so we're collaborating with other universities, but using this new germanium-based chip technology. And there's nobody else doing it right now. So in some cases, we are number one in the world.
And I guess part of this as well is, and we've heard this, in talk generally about losing talent here, going to the U.S., going to other parts of the world. This, I'm guessing, to some degree is designed to keep that talent here.
Yeah, the GIF actually it goes 100% to what I call brain. And I've paid for bricks before and mortar, but our belief has always been to give to brains, and so it goes 100% to attract the very best students around the world to come to Polytechnique, develop these intellectual property at Polytechnique, and then and also for the commercialization of these intellectual property. So part of the GIF also helps to do that with the idea of creating economic growth, creating jobs here in Quebec and in Canada.
Can I ask, for people who don't know, and I would be one of them, looking back, so you're obviously a grad from back, you mentioned in 1971. How did you take your degree? How did you make your fortune?
Well, when I graduated, my thought was just go do an MBA, get into the construction business, and then create my own business. My dad was a small entrepreneur, and in Saint-Hyacinthe, Quebec. I worked for him, from the age of 13 years old. I've always loved the idea of being my own boss, and then I work in construction. I thought at one point I would become an architect until I tried to apply at various universities for one university to tell me I had no talent whatsoever. And
Wow.
So I, cried one day, and then what else am I going to do? And then when I started in the construction business, my first job ended up in building a mine in Arizona. I befriended a geologist. We started speculating on little mining companies, exploration company. The first one I did, I made 10 times my money in about 6 months. I thought I was God's gift to finance until I lost it all in the next investment, but I was bitten. And where I made a substantial amount of money is in 1985 with a partner. We started the very first royalty company in the world, Franco-Nevada Mining, with a $2 million investment that today is in market capitalization is in the about $30-some billion.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
It's okay. We've done okay.
Yeah, you've done fine. Mm-hmm. I will point out, by the way, there's a great quote in the story that Allison Haynes wrote where you say, money in itself is meaningless. It's what you do with it that matters.
Yeah, that's so true. And also, like one of the points that I always make is that time is the only commodity that you cannot put in the bank, you cannot put aside, you cannot stop. The only thing you can do is spend it. And the way you do it, and the same with money, is what you do with it that really, really matters. And if you can leave this world with, you've left a better world, you've touched millions of people, I think that you've done right by you and your family, and that's what I'm trying to do.
Good for you. Oh, it's an amazing story, made more wonderful by the fact that it's someone giving back to an institution they attended. I would ask one last thing, Pierre. You ever look back and say, maybe I should have been an architect?
You know what? I realized that the dean who told me that was absolutely right.
That you had no talent?
No, I can, it's the same with art. I try to become, I love Rio Pel when I was, a teenager. Mm-hmm. I picked up the brush. I tried to imitate Rio Pel, and it was a complete disaster. And the funny thing is that I can appreciate talent. I'm a very good critique, but I cannot do it myself.
Listen, if you have any old paintings, I'd love to buy Lassonde if there's one available. So maybe let me know.
Well, I have just gifted the Quebec National Museum a number of my very, very best Riopelle that will be exhibited in the new Riopelle Pavilion.
That's great.
That's another very, very significant gift, which we haven't really talked about. But yes, it's there.
Listen, it's wonderful meeting you, speaking with you, and obviously everyone very much appreciates your commitment. $50 million, as I said, is nothing to sneeze at. So congratulations, and thanks so much for coming on. Very much appreciated talking to you.
No, couldn't be more pleased. Thank you so much
Take
for
care.
having me.
Pierre Lassonde, $50 million gift being given to Polytechnique Montréal. Great, great story.